Te Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So welcome all to this Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita class. We're going to read through Bhagavad Gita's first chapter, 25th sloka. Correct? No? Volume is okay now? Okay. Hare Krishna. So if you have your phone with the Veda base, please try to attempt to read through the sloka, even if you're not able to pronounce it correctly, but that's okay. Let's try to pronounce it, okay? Reading from Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, 25th sloka. Okay. Bhishmadrona pramuktaha Bhishmadrona pramuktaha Sarvesham cha mahikshitam Sarvesham cha mahikshitam Uvacha partha pashyaitan Uvacha partha pashyaitan Samavetan kuruniti Samavetan kuruniti Bhishmadrona pramukataha Sarvesham cha mahikshitam Uvacha partha pashyaitan Samavetan kuruniti Bhishmadrona pramukataha Sarvesham cha mahikshitam Uvacha partha pashyaitan Samavetan kuruniti. You want to try?
Bhishmadrona pramukataha
Bhishmadrona pramukataha
Sarvesham cha
Sarvesham cha
mahikshitam
mahikshitam
Uvacha partha
Uvacha partha
pashyaitan
pashyaitan
Samavetan kuruniti
Samavetan kuruniti Bhishmadrona pramukataha Sarvesham cha mahikshitam Uvacha partha pashyaitan Samavetan kuruniti Bhishmadrona pramukataha Sarvesham cha mahikshitam Uvacha partha pashyaitan Samavetan kuruniti Bhishmadrona pramuktaha Sarvesham cha mahikshitam Uvacha partha pashyaitan Samavetan kuruniti Bhishmadrona pramuktaha Sarvesham mahikshitam Uvacha partha pashyaitan Samavetan kuruniti. Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, Drona, teacher Drona, Pramukataha, in front of, Sarvesham, all, Cha, also, Mahikshitam, chief of the world, Uvacha, said, Partha, O son of Pritha, Pashya, just behold, Etan, all of them, Samavetan, assembled, Kurun, the members of Kuru dynasty, Iti, thus. Please try to repeat the translation. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. Okay, I'll read the purport, then we'll get into the sloka. Okay. As the super soul of all living entities, Lord Krishna could understand what was going on in the mind of Arjuna. The use of the word Rishikesha in this connection indicates that he knew everything. And the word Partha, or the son of Kunti or Pritha, is also similarly significant in reference to Arjuna. As a friend, he wanted to inform Arjuna that because Arjuna was the son of Pritha, the sister of his own father Vasudeva, he had agreed to be the charioteer of Arjuna. Now, what did Krishna mean when he told Arjuna to behold the Kurus? Did Arjuna want to stop there and not fight? Krishna never expected such things from the son of his aunt Pritha. The mind of Arjuna was thus predicted by the Lord in friendly joking. Okay, we will just invoke our praise. Om Jnanatamirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadhamagyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapata Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajhatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So again, welcome all to this Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita session. So we are getting into the important sections of the first chapter. Okay, this is kind of one of the very important turning point of the entire Bhagavad Gita, or in part, entire turning point of Mahabharata. In fact, a big turning point for everybody. Okay, so that we will know. Okay, how does this turning point will happen? This sloka is kind of outwardly it might look like very kind of joking way, like what Prabhupada says in one way, joking way. But sloka itself is a big turning point. Okay, from a story perspective, from a philosophical understanding perspective. Okay, for example, how do we understand turning points? Okay, how do we understand turning points in Ramayana? What are the turning points in Ramayana?
When Rama was asked to
When
leave the kingdom, and then Ravana protecting Sita.
Rama, yeah, there are many turning points, right? For example, if at all Kaikeyi did not have Manjari, what is her name? Mandra has the servant maid, nothing would have happened, right? Somebody will say that is also another perspective. If at all Mandra didn't have that hearing news at all, if Mandra had gone for medical leave, something, right? So there are turning points every part of the story. If at all Sita didn't see the deer, if at all Rama did not kill the two brothers, like that, there are every specific turning points, right? Even Mahabharata also has got nice turning points. But some turning points in our life is very essential, and this is one of the major important turning points in our essential. Right? We had some turning points of our life. That is why we are sitting here. Yes or no? So turning points are necessary or not necessary? Of course necessary. But some, of course, will go into some other way, but we still need turning points. Some turning points will take us somewhere high. Some turning points will go somewhere else also. But we need to be really very, very careful. So when turning points means the opportunities that knock your door. Opportunities knock your door means opportunities are the ways by which It is not just like it will come. There might be some problems that create to you. There might be situations that might be created to you. There might be some difficult situations that might be created to you. There may be some very tough problems for you. But what are all? Those are all the turning points. Those are all the opportunities. Bhagavad Gita gives us a lot of opportunities, lot of turning points in which we'll be able to see ourselves from one perspective to multivariate perspective. This sloka is also very interestingly positioned, very interestingly situated in a very difficult situation, in a very gross situation. Like, for example, we have gone through the first chapter's important sections of where the two sides of the army, the Kurus and then the Pandavas are assembled, and then they are about to start the fighting. And the purpose of that particular assembly is what? Fighting. The purpose is very clear. They have to fight and somebody has to win. They are very clear. Right? But they still followed certain etiquette, certain rules and regulations for which they were waiting for somebody to blow the conch and then they have to start the fight. They were very clear. And until this point of time, everything was very clear. Yes, it has to be done. It has to be done. Let's say you go for a particular, I usually say the cricket match or football match. Both the sides they are assembled. What was the purpose of the assembly? Is to win. With that motive only will go, right? Okay, it's not that I will just simply, they ask me to go, I will go. No. Everybody individually they'll have that motivation. Individually they'll have that determination. Of course, the captains, the others, everybody will give that thing. But individually they'll have that contribution to demonstrate. Right? They have an opportunity to demonstrate at whatever position, whatever level. Arjuna also had got a very good opportunity, and he was waiting for it. Now Prakash Prabhu was discussing very interesting perspectives. We will try to see how those perspectives are brought out. So Arjuna at this point of time, what was his mood and mission? He has to fight. He wanted to fight. He wanted to see who's there to fight. He has to fight. And he wanted to kill everybody also. He was very determined. I have to kill the Duryodhana because to avenge his wife's insult and also to insult, all the other insult also. And he want to get back the kingdom. Very clear goal, very clear motive. No, nothing changed. Yes or no? Yeah. So sometimes in our life also, certain situations we'll be very clear of the end goal. Intermediately, there will be some problems, some bottlenecks. Those are all the main testing time. Sometimes we forget the actual goal and they get diverted. It happens in our life. It has happened, correct? Our end goal is something different. But in between, there will be some hiccups. Definitely hiccups will be there. Right? But during that hiccup point, what is our ultimate goal? What is our ultimate destination? So those are the moments or those are the period in which we need guidance. We have to seek guidance. We have to see that how do I overcome that. There is a challenge. Sometimes we do our prayatana. Sometimes we will try to do our own endeavor. But beyond our endeavor, it requires some external, some additional support, some additional power, additional guidance. Then we seek that, right? So Krishna says, yes, you do your duty, you do your prayatana, you do your goal for your end goal. But beyond that, I will be also there to help you. So Bhagavad Gita gives that assurance. And this is the turning point of that assurance. The very important turning point. Right? And Prabhupada also is giving very nice point. So before this sloka, very nicely, I think in the previous class also, Prabhu would have covered very nicely, what was the mood and then the stage of mind. Okay, when I say mood or mindset, like what was Arjuna's mindset? Very clear. What is that? He has to fight. So now Prakash Prabhu is asking. He was very clear. He knows who is going to be there. Yes or no? He knows Duryodhanadis. They are called Duryodhanadis, all the Kauravas. Does not he know that Bhishma is also there? Don't you think Dronacharya is also there? Kripacharya is there? Bhishma is also going to be there. Do you think he doesn't know? Of course he knows. Of course he knows, right? He knows that. But still, what was in his mind? Yes, I have to fight. Okay. Now the main point is, what is that important turning point that made him to melt? I'm using the word melt. Okay. Melt means what? You are very strong. Ice cubes are very strong. Right? From a chemical reaction perspective, ice cubes are more stronger. If you have studied physics, chemistry, ice cubes are more stronger than anything else. Big ice bergs, whatever they are, very strong. but a little bit of fire, little bit of sun rays will slowly start melting it out, right? All that requires is that fire, right? So the same fire can be applied in two perspectives also. So now the mindset of Arjuna is all that he wanted to see is, I'm very strong. Let me see whatever come me, I will have to fight. I'm going to fight. Okay? A little bit of spark only Krishna did. Krishna didn't do all that did is this, only this thing. For us to get the entire Bhagavad Gita. Why are we sitting here? Because Krishna took Arjuna to this position. That's all. Otherwise, we will not be sitting here. So, all that Krishna did was exactly to that particular point where Arjuna will break down, Arjuna will melt. So we might ask a question: why does Krishna has to do this? Okay, Arjuna is already had a goal. Arjuna already have a mission, and his mindset was very clear. He could have taken him to some other place in front of Duryodhana or in front of Duchadana. What would have happened? War would have immediately started. Both the sides would have, what do you say? The blowing of the conch would have happened, and then fight would have started. But Krishna doesn't want it. So this is where very important understanding we need to get. Sometimes we are very strong in certain aspect, but when it comes to a decision making, when it comes to a position where we are not able to see how well it is, there will be an external force, external element that is coming and drive us through that particular field. Sometimes we fail also. We might, whatever endeavor at some point we'll try to do, we fail. We have to see that why I failed. We have to see that I've done everything, but still it failed. There might be some situations where Lord wants us to fail, wants us to melt, wants us to cry. Understood? So this is where Arjuna was made to melt. Arjuna made to become compassionate. Arjuna is already a compassionate person, no doubt. So here Krishna wanted to bring that compassionate nature of that particular person. If Arjuna is always Kshatriya, yes, I'm going to fight, I'm going to this. Yes, he was ready there. Then there is no point in having that real devotee's nature, real characteristics. The Kshatriya's characteristic is not about showing the prowess. Kshatriya's characteristics is not about showing the strength. Kshatriya's characteristic is about how well that particular person is determined to fight for the righteousness. Kshatriya's mentality is about how do I protect the actual persons. Kshatriya's mentality is to see how I abide by laws, by the Lord's laws, by the Lord's sanctioning authority. Okay, it means he had to follow the duty, he had to perform his duty, but under what? Under the Lord's instructions, under the guidance of the Supreme Lord. He doesn't want to fight just like that. He wanted to fight with the instruction or the guidance from the Supreme Lord. Initially, he had that wonderful guidance. Otherwise, he would not have chosen Krishna instead of the Krishna's army, right? You all know that story. All of us know that story, right? When Duryodhana and Arjuna came to meet Krishna, one of the most important thing that Arjuna decided was to have Krishna. Absolutely fine. And that is why we have brought to this situation, and Arjuna and Krishna decided to become Arjuna's chariot driver. We all know that. And here Prabhupada is also mentioning it very nicely. Similarly significant in reference to Arjuna being this aunt's son, okay? Pritha is Kunti's another name, and then Arjuna was also very dear to him. This is one aspect of seeing it. The next important aspect is like what Prakash Babu was asking. Within that particular moment, just a few moments only, right? They were ready to fight, and he was just taken up there, and immediately after seeing Bhishma, Kripacharya, and Dronacharya, he didn't see everybody. He just saw only 3 of them. What made him to melt? What made him to slow down? Is also a very important aspect. Okay, see, in one sense, what we can say is, when Krishna was trying to do all means not to have this war, yes or no? When he went for this as a messenger, what did he do? What was his initial goal given to him? Initial target when Yudhishthira said, "Okay, go." on our behalf go and try to talk with the Kauravas. What was the message given? First, try to avoid the war. But what was Krishna's original intention? He wanted to have the war. Yes or no? Yes. Krishna's, from the beginning, he wanted the war. He had already done 17 wars, okay, along with Jarasandha. He did not 1 or 2 wars. Every time Jarasandha will come with a big army, every time he has already finished half of the activities. Okay, and he had still some small leftover. And this leftover is the final end of this Mahabharata. Right? So he has already decided. But the interesting part is when Yudhishthira said, Krishna, I don't want war. All the five had their own opinions. Bhima said, I want war. Nakula Sakadeva was like kind of, and Yudhishthira was very clear, I don't want war. From the beginning, till the end, actually. But Krishna had a different plan. But however, Krishna said, I will go what Yudhishthira said. So when Krishna entered the assembly, his initial point was, we don't want war. He didn't even spoke about war at all. All that he spoke is what the Pandavas has their own right, and you have to give back their kingdom, whatever the land, everything, right? So the word war itself was not at all there. All that was required was just go and ask, give back our whatever is required, whatever is by right, what we have to get, we have to get. But then Krishna had already made up that mind. What if at all, if they don't give, what is the solution? What is that I have to ask? That also he asked Yudhishthira. So a lot of big conversation happened in Mahabharata. That Parvata is very, very, very detailed conversation between Yudhishthira and Krishna. So Krishna, very brilliantly asked questions back to Yudhishthira. What if they say this? What if they say that? What if they say partial kingdom? What if they this? So for everything, Yudhishthira will say, for everything you accept. Don't go for what? Don't go for final. For whatever bit, it's okay. Even if they give small 5, everything is okay. So Yudhishthira was in that mentality. So Krishna had to obligate to Yudhishthira. So one perspective of seeing Krishna is, here in this situation, he is a warrior, he is a charioteer. But before this taking up this role, the messenger role was the most important role, in which he had to negotiate, he has to converse, then the final solution is to come. The most important perspective is, he had already made up that mind. Today also, the point what we are trying to see is, Krishna, when he has made up his decision, everything will fall in place according to that only. Whatever we think, whatever we assume, whatever we want to do, nothing will happen. All that we have to try to make is our endeavor. When we try to make our endeavor, then if it is aligning, if it is going towards Krishna's way, if it is going towards the Lord's way, then everything will fall in place. Within that, you will have good or you will have bad or whatever be it, but that it will still continue. Okay, I'll give you one simple story also. Okay, there was, I don't know, there is the story you might have heard. There was in one village, okay, and in that village there was suddenly it became winter time, lot of flood, okay, heavy flooding, super duper flooding, and then the entire village was about to be fully drenched, and then all the village elders were trying to do what you do. Then all of them something thought, okay, let us all get into the temple. Usually in big villages they'll have one temple. To save ourselves, let us all go into the temple. All of them went into the temple, and the temple pujari was alone there. Okay, and then all of them were trying to save themselves, but slowly the temple also was getting flooded. And then they all did discuss with the temple pujari, and then they were asking what to do, how to do, and then what is that. Then the temple pujari was trying to meditate. Then in his meditation, this point came in his mind. Okay, some thought. Okay, something. In that, what was clearly mentioned was, today either all of you will die, only one person will survive, or one person alone will die, all of you will survive. Understood? Okay. Then everybody immediately what was their thought? Then then everybody were started thinking, how does this will happen? Either one person will alone will survive, or all of them will survive, one person will. Very tricky situation. So everybody's mind was what? How do I survive? How do I survive? Then other question is, if I alone die, everybody will survive. Nobody will have that mentality to say, okay, let me die for others. No, right? So that is the judgment. Now we are in a situation where somebody says, okay, you alone will die, all others will be protected. Means what will be your mentality? No. Let me get saved first. So again, this was very tricky situation. Now the same kind of situation, then again went to the priest, and the priest said, okay, we will do one thing. In the temple, within the temple compound, there is one mandapam, there is one hall, little away. Okay. So if at all Lord wants to save us, let's do one thing. Each of us will go one by one to that particular mandapam, that particular place. Okay. Stay there for 5 minutes, and within that 5 minutes, nothing happens. All of us are saved, and that particular person will die. Okay, so this was decided, and all of them said, yeah, I think this is very interesting. Yes, I mean, this is kind of okay. So what happens? One by one, they start going. Okay, one by one, they start going, and then each of them will go exactly to that place, wait for 5 minutes, and then he will look back. All of them will be like, they will also get, that moment is what? Whether that is the one person or I am the person, right? So everybody started having that fear. And then what happened? So one by one they went, they came, when they came, they went, and then it was going on for just next 1 or 2 hours. Finally, the last person was there. So this is a very important situation. The last person was there. What will be the mentality? Everybody thought what? He will die. Because all of them have gone and come back. Correct? So what was the mentality of this person? I will die. So interestingly, they pushed him actually. That is the mentality of current situation. So they pushed him. He was like kind of hesitant. So he was pushed. He went there. Exactly 5 minutes he was sitting there. He was just thinking, what is this? Why I am alone getting punished? He was just standing there. After exactly when he goes there, after exactly 3 minutes, a big lighting came and struck the main temple. All of them died, and that person survived. So the moral of the story is what? Moral of the story? Can somebody guess? What is the moral of the story? Yeah. So when the Lord wants to protect somebody, whatever be the situation, He will protect that person. And when the Lord decides to destroy somebody, whatever be the situation, He will get destroyed. This is a normal understanding. But beyond that, there is a very important understanding also. What is that understanding? Anybody? Anything else you can think? Any other perspective? Yes, Manoj. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, this is a very important perspective. Because of that one person, all were living so long. Understood? No. Because of that particular one person, if at all he had been there with all of them would have survived. But they all thought this is the person who will die. Sometimes in certain situations, we might think, not required, nothing. But actually that particular person will be the most important person in our life. We might neglect our relationships. We might neglect our certain decisions, certain important aspects. But really we don't know. Here also, Arjuna, he was very clear to have that particular fight or war with Duryodhana, this one. In his mind, he almost lost, or he almost forgot that his own Acharya, his own grandfather, Pitama, everybody are there. He almost forgot because his mind was overwhelmed, or mind was overthinking about only killing about this one. it is like how Prakash Prabhu is also mentioning, because it is my wife's injustice, my family is this one, I have to do it. So it was killing in that way. Yes, he was a Kshatriya. All Kshatriyas will have that particular attitude, that particular mentality. Yes, I have to do the fighting. But when it comes to do performance your duty, when you have that I mentality or it's mine, it's activity, then there will be a high chance of melting down. There will be high chance of falling down. There will be high chance of going in other directions. But because Krishna was there, and Krishna's plan was little more higher, little more thoughtful, little more decision making, little more advanced in whatever way we think, Krishna made the situation appropriately for us to get Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Now, for example, you are in when we say what are the life lessons you have learned, you might bring so many life lessons in your life. I had undergone so much this one, I've learned this, I've done that. But all your life lessons, have you got it through your bad experiences or good experiences? Most of bad experiences only. Correct? Obviously. Why? Because in good moments, the mind and then the intelligence will go more about our enjoyment of senses only, our sense enjoyment, because that is what will keep you more happy. But in bad situations or difficult situations, the senses will be kind of doesn't know what to do, right? And that is where it requires a lot of motivation, more of this one. That is where you either seek guidance, you come to temple, you learn something, and then you get to know about it, right? So Krishna will create those situations. Here also the same thing is going to happen. What is Krishna going to do, or Krishna did, is created that situation. What is that situation? Is for Arjuna to cry, literally cry. In fact, not even crying, he wanted to run away. You will see in the coming slokas, end of this chapter, what Arjuna will say, I don't want to fight, let me die. Okay, same situation, within half an hour it changed completely. So what I'm trying to say is, Bhagavad Gita gives a lot of good opportunities. So when you see from a normal motivation perspective or from a lesson learned perspective, all that we have to understand Bhagavad Gita is, let me try to get these specific points so that these specific points will make my life more meaningful, more thoughtful. Anyway, it is going to continue. Anyway, you will get into certain aspects. But how am I going to have that thoughtful process of ensuring how Arjuna underwent these cycles, how Krishna gave the guidance? Same way, I am also going to undergo these kind of things. Let me take guidance. Let me try to assimilate these learnings, assimilate this knowledge, and then try to adapt in my life. All that we need to know is, how am I going to adopt and then adapt? Adoption is very tough. Adaptation is also much more tough. You have already adopted. You are already adopted, which means what? You already accepted to some extent, right? To some extent, you have accepted, yes, Bhagavad Gita is very good. Krishna is giving nice lessons, and when I come here, it will be good for me. That is first level of acceptance. You already accepted. No doubt about it, which is very good. Okay. The second is the most important thing is the adoption. How well you adopt it. You come, you sit for 3 months, 4 months. What is your adoption rate? What is the transformation that is happening? That is adoption. Then the adaptation. Adaptation means consistently changing. Consistently you are growing. Then you will be able to, whenever there are some situations, whenever there are kind of irregularities that in life, then at that moment you will be able to see the benefit of Bhagavad Gita. Right? So that is where we need to be very, very clear. Okay? There are very interesting perspectives also, and this sloka is also very important in terms of how do I understand. Prabhupada is also making this word as the super soul of all living entities. Krishna could understand what was going in the mind of Arjuna. Very important line. Okay. So what does it mean when Krishna, when the Supreme Lord is the super soul of all living entities? Super soul here means what? In normal understanding is the person who's sitting in our heart. We have soul and we also have super soul, right? Super soul means Paramatma. Okay, so the Paramatma in our heart is doing so much of work. Is doing so much of work. What is that so much of work? He's doing everything. Whatever we want to think, whatever we want to desire, whatever we wanted to do, everything is going through the Paramatma. Okay. Then the next question will ask, even if I want to do bad things also, why does the Paramatma sanction? He knows that I'm doing the bad thing. Why can't he stop? He's supposed to stop me, right? I'm going to scold my children. Oh, no, don't scold your children. I'm going to eat some bad things. Why can't the Paramatma come and tell, stop, you're doing bad thing? Right? Obviously it will come. If you are convinced that somebody is sitting in our heart, he is the super person, he is going to give me everything good, then what is the next important thing? He gives good things also, that is okay. We are happy to take it. But when he is not giving us proper direction, when he allows us to do some bad things, immediately we'll ask. When we come to suffering, then we'll know. Why does he not stop me earlier itself? Right? They will ask this question. Why does he not stop? Correct? Why does he not stop? Anybody else? Any other thought? Freedom. Face the consequence. Then why does he allow you to do bad things? Knowingly. Leave out unknowingly also. Why? To fulfill his desire. Okay. Right. Then no free will. Okay. So whatever we okay. Yeah. Free will is okay. Desire is okay. And then whatever be it, in one perspective that we have to see is, as you all mentioned, one is free will. Yes, because that particular person's desire is like that. Why can't then the important next question will ask, hey, even the desire is also coming from that one. Why can't he change my desire itself? My desire is always good things. Obviously, right? Why can't he change the desires? Why? Conditioned for very long time. Conditioned for very long time. So when he is the sanctioning person, when he is doing everything, why can't he change my desires also? So that I don't see anything. I just come to temple, I will do this, I will do that, and then I'm just. So Krishna says in the coming chapters, he will tell very interestingly, there are some specific slokas. He will talk about why we are conditioned here, like how Prabhuji mentioned. One is conditioned. The second thing is our desires are like continuous flowing. Today we might say this, that, and all. Our desires are the main culprit. Our desires are the main culprit. Okay. So what Krishna is trying to say is, when you have your desires of so much of desires that keep continuing flow, I mean it is like continuous flow. It's not going to stop at all. In which it will be good and bad, nice and bad, or whatever be it. The main important point that is, we don't have that sense of discrimination which is good and bad. The moment we start understanding the sense of discrimination, then our desires will change. So Krishna, what he was trying to say is, whatever be it, if you are able to modify, if you are able to work on your desires, then I will be able to help your desires. But if your desires are always towards something else, in which you want to lord it over, when I say lord it over, very specifically Krishna will use this word in Bhagavad Gita, to dominate, to lord it over, which means very important. I, mine, I am the person, it belongs to me. That is where the main mistake is. I am the Ishvara. Then all the other things are getting sorted. That is the only difference. There is nothing else. If at all you always say, I am not the Lord, I am just the servant, then your desires will be modified. Until that, you will have the desires going that. So in the seventh chapter, very specifically in the knowledge of absolute truth, Krishna will talk about so much of physical understanding In that understanding, Arjuna will specifically ask him, why is this happening? Then Krishna will tell that answer. This is the only thing that differentiates between you and the nature, between you and the supreme strength, between you and then the higher consciousness or a higher thinking. If that particular alone thing you just modify it, then it is absolutely okay. But that will be the most toughest thing. It won't. I mean, what do you say? It doesn't come just like that. It will take some more, not some more. It will take many realizations in which you will be able to get it. Okay. So in the coming sections of Bhagavad Gita also, what will happen is Arjuna will be made to melt, made to become more compassion, so that Krishna had two purposes in Bhagavad Gita. What are the two purposes? One, to give the knowledge lesson of Bhagavad Gita. The second important aspect of giving Bhagavad Gita is to get understanding of Arjuna. You might have heard about the understanding of Dhritarashtra, all other personalities in Mahabharata. Okay, but throughout Bhagavad Gita, understanding of Arjuna is also very important. Okay, because Krishna will give the lot of lessons, lot of knowledge. You have to do this, you don't do this, this is good, this is Karma Yoga, this is Jnana Yoga, this is Bhakti Yoga, this is Buddhi Yoga. All knowledge will give. But throughout the knowledge, he is also carrying forward one particular personality, one particular person. That person is Arjuna. The transformation of Arjuna is what we have to learn. Because we also have to get transformed. How Arjuna transformed is also to be understood. How? By asking specific questions. The transformation in Arjuna will come, every chapter you will see the questions he asked. And finally his decision is also very important. So that Krishna had multiple purposes, and within these multiple purposes, Arjuna also is becoming so much of glorified. Today we in Bhagavatam, in other scriptures also, throughout Mahabharata, there are so many nice devotees, so many nice personalities. Today I was listening to one lecture in which Maharaj was mentioning about Abdul Kalam, right? You know all Abdul Kalam, right? Abdul Kalam. So somebody asked Abdul Kalam, okay, what is that is Mahabharata? There are so many characters. So which is the most inspiring character in Mahabharata for you? Okay. So for example, if I'm going to ask you, which is the most inspiring character for you in Mahabharata, means whom you will say? Prabhu?
Most inspiring.
Anybody? You don't have to think too much. I mean, that's fine. Anybody? Mahabharata has so much of characters. Anybody? Arjuna. Okay, Mataji? You don't have to think too much. any character is okay. Bhishma. Okay, Prabhu? So, Draupadi. Sakuni. Yeah, okay. Sakuni had a... Okay, I'll come to Sakuni. Okay, then? Nakula Sahadeva. Okay, then? Karna. Kunti Devi. Sakuni had a very interesting phenomenon. He had a 100-year goal. Okay. What is that 100-year goal? Even before this Kauravas were born, his mission was to destroy the Kuru dynasty. But nobody knew that. So that is why he wantedly came along with his sister. Correct? And he planned it. He planned so nicely. Nobody can plan like Shakuni. It's a perspective where we can see. And who knows that's a plan? Only Krishna knows that plan. And if you have seen movies also, you'll see who both of them will be thinking how to save. He will be thinking how to save. He will be thinking how to destroy. Krishna's mind was always thinking how to save Pandavas. This side Sakuni was always thinking how to destroy. Okay, this is about small character. Okay, anybody else? Okay, Bhishma. Then Prabhu was telling about other characters also. Arjuna. Okay, then Bhima. Yes. Passion. Bhima represents strength. Bhima represents passion. Okay. Ashwatthama. Okay. Nice. Anything else? Every character has a purpose. Every character demonstrated certain qualities. Every character has certain qualities which they are not supposed to do also. So everybody had their weakness. Everybody had their strength. No doubt about it. There are so many theses. There are MBA also done on it, which is okay. Nice. So coming back to the point, when so many characters are there, so Abdul Kalam was asked this. Then Abdul Kalam said, there are so many characters, but I like one character, is Vidura. Vidura. Okay, we all know Vidura, right? So then ask the next point, why specifically Vidura? So Abdul Kalam answered, why Vidura is because even though he was born in a different family, he was supposed to protect the Kuru, everything. But till the end, one good quality he was always minded was he was very bold, first point. Second point is he was very righteous. He was following only the rules and regulations, only the truth. He didn't care about anybody else. So even in difficult situation, even in first thing is he gave that advice. No, Duryodhana, whatever you are doing is wrong. This is what is right, this is what is wrong. Okay. So Vidura, so this is what I think Abdul Kalam is trying to explain. So he was saying, whatever be the situation, and most difficult part of Krishna was what, how to get Vidura out of this army, out of this war. Krishna knew that he can get everybody killed but except Vidura. If Vidura comes to the Mahabharata war, definitely Kauravas will win. So Krishna had so much of thinking, so much of plan, how to somehow get, because Vidura was always right from the beginning. We might think Bhishma was very right. We might think Krupacharya was, but actually Vidura. But somehow Krishna made that also. How did he make? He invoked. Who did he invoke? He provoked Duryodhana. He provoked Duryodhana. And then because of provoking of Duryodhana, Vidura also melted. Like how we are seeing this particular sloka, Arjuna melted. What was the melting point of Vidura? Duryodhana insulted him. Because of you are born in this family, you don't. Then immediately Krishna was very happy. What was that melting point? He said, he broke his bow and said, I will not fight for you, or I will not fight for Pandavas also. Immediately he went for Tirtha Yatra. Right? So the point I was trying to tell you is, Mahabharata gives a lot of good opportunities. Karna is also in one way great example. In other way is also not a great example. So every character has got good part of it, and then the other part of it also. But what does that we do is to see how those specific lessons that we try to take. Coming back to the main point, if all of them Krishna selected Arjuna, Krishna could have become the charioteer of Bhima also. Krishna could have become a charioteer of Yudhishthira also. Yudhishthira is the first person, right? Obviously, Yudhishthira has to be protected. If you see Mahabharata, who is supposed to be protected is Yudhishthira. Because he is going to be the king. If at all Pandavas win, who is going to be the protector? Who is going to be the king? Yudhishthira. Obviously, somebody should ask. Then Yudhishthira, actually speaking, Krishna is supposed to be with Yudhishthira. Because then Krishna protects Yudhishthira, then that is much more safe. Correct? Logically thinking. But Krishna chose Partha. Krishna chose Arjuna. There are other reasons also for that. Okay. But most importantly, as from the point of understanding the good quality of a devotee, a good quality of a person who is willing to learn, the person who has got a lot of compassion in his heart, the person who is also brave, the person who can take nice decisions, the person who is willing to surrender to the Lord, and the person who was ready to do whatever the Lord wants to do. These are all the good qualities of Arjuna. And the person became intelligent. The person became transformed through the 18 chapters. And he was ready to do everything. Because this was exhibited after Mahabharata war. If you read through Bhagavatam's first canto, I think 13th chapter or 14th chapter, entire Mahabharata war is over. Okay? And then everything is over, and then Krishna has gone back to Dwaraka, Yudhishthira is all become the Samrat, everything is okay, all okay. After some time, Arjuna has decided, okay, I will go for a a long tour to from Hastinapur, from Delhi to Dwarka. So he goes there for 5 months, 3 months. He stays there with Krishna. He comes, and then actually speaking, second time he goes. So when he goes second time, what happens? The entire Dwapara Yuga is completed. Kali Yuga has come, and he gets defeated by a small set of thieves. Okay, this is the story of after Mahabharata. So when he goes there and he realizes that Krishna is not there, Krishna is already avatar. The main thing is already over. Krishna has gone back. Till that moment, he had the full strength, full faith, everything. Krishna is always there. But he went there, then he sees Dwarka, Krishna is not there. Nobody is there. That is where the entire teachings of Bhagavad Gita is reflected in his mind, in his mood. Beautifully in Bhagavatam, that particular chapter, very nicely Arjuna demonstrates that. He comes back, and then Yudhishthira asks so many questions. What happened in Dwaraka? What happened in this? Everything, and then Arjuna gives the responses. In that response, we can understand how well he learned Bhagavad Gita, how well he was stable, because that is the most difficult situation, right? He had faced this Mahabharata war as nothing. All along Krishna was there. He went to see Krishna, but Krishna is not there. Just imagine. That is a much more worse situation, right? But that moment, then he realized, yes, Krishna has given me the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has given me the knowledge. What is that? Whatever it happens, I should not. Then he started getting that knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Then he realized, yes, this is. Then he was kind of not melting. He was like kind of this one. So sometimes you might think, how well this Bhagavad is going to help me. Okay, so don't worry. Whenever you learn Bhagavad Gita now, even though it may not be really applicable now, but at some point of the time, definitely Bhagavad Gita will be applicable. Okay, so we will stop here. So this is a nice sloka in which we are trying to understand the mood and the mission of Krishna, and that is why he takes Arjuna into a particular position in which Arjuna becomes compassion. Arjuna melts down and starts asking a lot of questions and decides not to fight. Okay, so my humble request, please continue to learn through this opportunity of Bhagavad Gita. Then you will see a lot of transformations happening through Arjuna for all of us. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any realization also, it's okay. Hare Bhagwan.
This is talking about soul and support, and as you said that Paramatma is in our heart. And then I know the actions what we do to recognize. What efforts do we need to do to understand that Paramatma is in our heart?
So what efforts that we need to take to realize that there is a Paramatma inside us, in our heart. So honestly, from a thought process perspective, many times we forget there is a Paramatma in us. That is the correct understanding, because we immediately want to do something, we want to do action, we want to have that sanctioning, and we go by it. So what is the process that we need to follow is, whenever you want to do a particular, or whenever you want to make a decision, not even decision, leave out the decision. Whenever you desire first, desire leads to decisions, desire leads to actions, desire leads to thinking, desire leads to feeling. Whatever be it, first thing is the desire. So whenever you start to think about or desire about it, immediately first thing this, whether this desire is correct or not, whether that particular desire is aligned to the Lord's way, whether this desire is going to be helpful. Right? Whenever you have a desire, the desire has to, in Ramayana specifically, there is a specific discussion point in which Lord Ram will talk with specifically with Vali's brother Sugriva. Very nice conversation. In that conversation, Sugriva will ask, what wrongful thing that I did that Vali did. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just trying to see if my brother was this one. So for that, Ram will try to give the responses. In that responses, he will say, when the Paramatma inside you, when the Paramatma inside you made you to take a particular action or a particular decision, what is the decision he did? What is the action he did? He just closed the cave. You remember the pastime of Vali, right? So what did he do? He just closed the cave and he came back. Right? So at that moment, if at all you feel that whatever action that I've done is wrong, or I don't know whether the action I'm trying to do is correct or not, what Lord Ram will tell is, Sugriva, all that you should have done is, at that moment, if you feel that okay, this desire of mine, is this correct or not, whether it is helpful for me, first point. Second point, it is helpful for the third person. Third person here is second person is the Vali. Third is it helpful for the entire family or entire community? Is what you have to think about. This actually speaking in Kamba Ramayana. Again, I'm just going a little deeper. In Kamba Ramayana, the same thing will be spoken by Kaikeyi with Mandra. And the same thing is spoken by Lord Ram with Sugriva. So if you have a desire, you have to think about three aspects. What is the first aspect? About yourself, whether it is beneficial to you. Second aspect is beneficial for the family. Third aspect is it really beneficial for society? So when you have this, the Chaitya Guru, the desire invoking personality, Chaitya Guru of Paramatma will give you the correct correct decision of the desire. Leave out the action. Leave out the result of the action. Even the desire itself you can be modified. So how do we do this? Is to cultivate this particular habit of seeking the personality in him. So whenever you want to desire, just take a pause, ask him yes or no, then that particular decision will be easy. So is it useful for me? 99% the desire will say yes, it is useful for me. Okay, for example, desire to eat a chocolate. I'm just giving an example. What is your senses will say? Yes. And the next thing is it useful for my family? For my family? Who cares? Then is it really useful for the entire society? Definitely, who cares? But if you think about it a little more deeper, actually whatever you eat will affect your family. Yes or no? When you have diabetes, who's really suffering? Honestly, we will think, okay, I'm only suffering. Actually, the family is suffering. So sometimes our actions, we might think it is only for me, but actually our actions will affect everybody else also. Okay? Thank you, Prabhu. Let's say when we get headache, you come in the morning, it's at Monday evening, you have a heavy headache, you go back home. Okay, you are full of tension. You need somebody to vent it out. Correct? We might think we are only suffering. Actually, the person who is going to vent out is going to be the most sufferer. Correct? It happens both sides also. Yes, Mataji.
Why Sakuna want to kill remove the complete Guru dynasty?
There is no specific reason, Mataji. This I forgot the name of his sister, wife of Dhritarashtra, Gandhari. So, actually speaking, before Gandhari, before this entire this one, when Shantanu Maharaj and then his next predecessors, they tried to take up Kandahar. When they tried to take Afghanistan, they actually took over Afghanistan, Kandahar, and then Shantanu's this one, they just gave this like kind of, okay, chali jao, well, just get out. I mean, like, just like giving in charity. So it was a great insult for Shakuni and the father also. That is one of the reasons, and Prabhu will add another reason also. Go ahead.
There's a story saying that Aguri's whole family was destroyed,
Yeah,
and they imprisoned the family, the father and the mother,
correct,
and they will not be given one freedom to eat.
correct.
So the whole family will give to Aguri. They say that you have to survive to take revenge. So he will first of all finish revenge, and the family will give the food to him. So everybody will die.
Yeah.
So that is why the die. The thing is, he will be lifting people to take one.
Yeah. The dice is made of bones, made out of their grandfather or father. I don't know. Yeah, that is okay. So somewhere there is a story in which the bone, it is made of bones, in which he'll get that benediction that whatever number he decides, it will come. Again, I mean, those are all the other aspects of the goal, but the goal was to destroy. That's all. Okay, Mataji.
Like even though he wants to destroy, why he gave his sister to do dynasty?
That is what very interesting. But that he didn't decide about it. Okay, his sister decided. Okay, his sister decided, and he wanted to undergo that particular thing also. Okay, even though his sister decided, but still his mind was to destroy that family. Okay, so from the beginning he wanted to ensure Duryodhana gets everything, all those things. But for him, it doesn't matter about whether it is Pandavas or Kauravas. For him, the entire dynasty. That's all. Yeah, Mataji. Somebody else.
Prabhu, you talked about an important personality of Vidura. Krishna thought if Vidura enters the war, that all was. Is it the reason that because Vidura is
Sorry, Vidura is?
a righteous
Yes.
personality that on the Dharma side, right?
Yes.
Is it the reason that
Yes,
because
yes.
he follows Dharma?
Correct.
Dharma principle?
Correct. Yes. He was very righteous and he didn't do anything wrong. He was always right and he was very bold enough to convey anything and any point of time he was always right. And very difficult. Right? So that is where Krishna decided, okay. And most importantly, Vidura did not have any weakness. Okay. All others, even Yudhishthira had weakness, Bhishma had weakness. Everybody had small, here and there. Dronacharya also had weakness. What was his Dronacharya's weakness? His son. So everybody had their own weaknesses. So Krishna knew that weakness and exactly at that point he utilized that. But Vidura did not have any weakness. Okay, that is the point. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for the lecture. I like the statement where you ended that. To Arjuna, we did the translation. I have a small question. Arjuna is a lot of qualities in him. That's why maybe not Krishna to the Bhagavad Gita. But my question is, Arjuna had a lot of tasks, and he is very good at it as a warrior, as many things, and the trust in Lord Krishna itself is a big thing. But as a devotee, is only bhakti is good enough to go close to Krishna, Lord Krishna? Because we may not be as good as, I'm not even comparing, but in many aspects, we are not as great actually. We are just be there at a borderline or something. But only performing bhakti or progressing in bhakti can, that bhakti can bring closer to Lord Krishna.
What is meant by bhakti? Okay, I'll put it the other way. I'll make you in a different perspective. I'm saying. Take a one. I mean, this is a workshop exercise that we do. Kind of we call the SWOT analysis. So you might think that I don't have anything, I don't deserve anything, I don't know anything, I don't anything. But the other way of seeing it is take one white paper, leave out your weakness, leave out this. What are the good qualities you have? What are the good qualities you have? When I say which is good for the society.
I'm not that selfish.
Correct. Fantastic. This one is enough. Arjuna was not selfish. That is also told in the 10th chapter. When Arjuna was asking this point, why I am alone able to get this Vishwarupam, Krishna tells this answer. Because you are not selfish on me, I am showing you this Vishwarupam. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji, for realization. So, if you are not selfish, that is the most fundamental quality that you have. With that quality is more than enough for bhakti. When you start developing on top of this unselfish mentality, faith, and then above the faith with the sadhu sangha and other things, you will definitely be able to grow. Bhakti is not about getting additional qualities, additional aspects of this. Bhakti is all about what are the qualities that you already have, try to amplify it, try to create or try to see it is already there. So most of you are very truthful. Most of you will be following certain principles, certain nice attitude, certain way of your communication. All those qualities are already there. Bhakti is all about increasing that, and when you start increasing this, definitely all the other qualities, you don't have to worry about the other qualities. It will slowly go away. Okay, so always have that in that mood. Definitely you will be able to. So don't ever think about, oh, will I really get into Arjuna's way? No way. Not possible. But still, when you start attempting it, you will definitely be able to do it. Okay? Thank you. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.